Hello, welcome to 12-Minute Meditation, a weekly podcast from Mindful and Mindful.org that brings you mindfulness meditations that are backed by neuroscience. The latest scientific research does reveal that 12 minutes of meditation a day can yield benefits like increased attention, focus, creativity, calm, resilience, and compassion. So on this podcast, we make some space for your 12-minute practice, and we offer guided meditations from today's leading mindfulness experts. There's a new practice each week for you on 12-minute meditation, a way to bring the benefits of mindfulness to your daily life. I'm Stephanie Domet. I'm the managing editor at Mindful and Mindful.org, and this week, Dr. Sará King leads a practice to cultivate curiosity. Sará King is a mother, a neuroscientist, a political and learning scientist, an education philosopher, a social entrepreneur, a public speaker, and a certified yoga and mindfulness meditation instructor. She specializes in the study of the relationships between mindfulness, art, complementary alternative medicine, community health, and social justice. And this week she offers this practice to explore don't know mind, an idea that is sometimes used in meditation to evoke a sense of curiosity. So in this practice, we'll explore what it's like to approach the world with a don't know mind. We'll explore how it lands in the body, this exploration of not knowing, of not being quite certain. Now, this practice is a web extra from the April issue of Mindful magazine. In the April issue, our founding editor, Barry Boyce, writes about change. Mindfulness practice can help us change for the better. It can also allow us to sit with the things we can't change and help us work with the inevitable changes that life brings. Our practice teaches us a kind of recipe for navigating change. Barry writes, time plus kindness plus curiosity, plus not knowing. You'll find that piece in the April issue of Mindful, which you can find on newsstands. You can also read it on mindful.org, which is also where you'll find this podcast. Or if you find our podcast through some other podcasting platform, perhaps you would leave us a review. We sure would like that. And your review can help other listeners decide whether 12-minute meditation is right for them. But for now, for you, here's Sará King.
At the beginning of every meditation practice that I teach, I like to offer up a little bit of instructions for the posture so that you can experience this practice as being as supportive as possible to your body. So, wherever you are, I would like to invite you to come to a place that is truly comfortable and supportive to your practice. So, for some of you, this may mean taking up a seated position on a chair, on a sofa, or even on some cushions on the floor. For others of you, this might mean standing up if that's more supportive to your back and your posture, potentially placing your body against a wall if it feels comfortable to lean up against. And for some of you, this may actually mean laying down on the ground. Please take a moment to come to whatever place is going to feel most compassionate to your body. Some of you may want to fully close your eyes for this meditation practice, and others of you may want to employ what I like to call a soft gaze, which is looking down at the ground about 2 inches in front of the knees or the feet. When you've arrived in that place, I would love to invite you to take 3 deep breaths with me. As you're taking those 3 deep breaths, you may notice that your body may begin to relax naturally, and you may start to feel a little bit more deeply connected to whatever place is making contact with the earth. For some of you, that's going to be your feet, and for others, that may be your back. Whatever place is coming into contact with the earth in this moment, please begin to draw your attention and awareness to the connection between your body and the earth. Perhaps it might feel beneficial at this point to take another deep inhale and exhale here. And when you're finished, please return your breath back to a natural cadence and rhythm. You may begin to notice the quality of the sound in the room that you're in. Maybe there are some ambient noises that are coming from inside of wherever you find yourself to be right now, whatever building that you're in. Or maybe there are sounds that are coming from outside. Please feel free to make these a part of your practice. Please begin to draw your awareness to the bottoms of your feet, wherever they are landing on the earth. What do you notice? Does the right foot or the left foot feel slightly heavier than the other? As you notice the difference between the right and the left foot, perhaps you might also become aware of other micro adjustments inside of your body. You may notice that the mind continues to produce thoughts, and that's okay. The point of a meditation practice is not necessarily to stop thinking the thoughts that you are thinking, but rather to just be aware of the thoughts as they flow through the body and the mind. And as you draw your awareness to your thoughts, you can also bring your awareness to the rhythm of your breath as it flows in and out of your body. At this point of our practice, I would like to invite you to bring your attention to the muscles of the belly and notice if they've been drawn in a little bit tightly towards the spine. Is it possible to invite a sense of relaxation and maybe even vulnerability to the muscles of the belly by allowing them to be soft? Don't worry, no one is watching. How does it feel when you invite a sense of softness and relaxation to the belly? How does the rest of the body respond? While your attention is here, perhaps we might begin to imagine a person, place, animal, or object that is deeply familiar to you. Perhaps this animal, person, place, or object reminds you of what it feels like to be home. Can you bring them into the room with you right now? Noticing if that has an impact on your breath as it rises and falls from your chest. Perhaps you might even feel a little bit more safe in the space of this practice as you invite the image of what reminds you of being home, being held into the space of your practice. What is familiar to you, deeply familiar about this person, animal, place, or object that perhaps makes you feel as though you really know them? What is the feeling of knowing? What is the feeling of familiarity? And how does it land inside of the body? As always, the invitation is to bring your attention back to the breath anytime that you notice yourself perhaps getting caught up in story. And now, perhaps we can bring to mind an image of something that reminds you of what it means to be strong and resilient. Maybe there's someone who you really look up to, or a place that you have been that made you feel truly strong and resilient when you were there. Can you begin to bring into your mind's awareness the embodied sensations of being strong and resilient? Does your body make slight changes and shifts as you recall how this feels? Now we're going to do a little bit of experimenting. Hopefully, this will be fun. There's a term called don't know mind that is sometimes used in an exploration of meditation in order to invoke a sense of curiosity. What is it like to approach the world with don't know mind? You may find that this is a bit of a contrast to the feeling of familiarity that we began to explore in the beginning of this practice. The feeling of familiarity is the feeling of, oh, yes, I know. I know this person. I know this place. I know this animal or this object. They are deeply familiar to me. Perhaps the way that we view things that are seemingly very familiar to us can begin to shift and change ever so slightly when we apply the pure curiosity of don't know mind. How does that land in the body? This exploration of not knowing, not being quite certain. At this point in your practice, you may notice if there are places in the body that begin to contract when we explore the feeling of don't know mind. And that's okay. This is the body's intelligence alive. But as we're in this exploration of don't know mind, can we also unite this exploration with those same sensations of strength and resilience so that we know that no matter what, when we encounter moments of uncertainty and not knowing, that we have all of the strength and resilience inside of our body to meet with that moment. What does it feel like to meet strength and resilience with not knowing? Can we be truly curious about what arises in our awareness with this practice? Let's take just a few moments in silence together now and explore the way that this feels. When you're ready, please bring your entire body into your mind's eye and notice the difference between the way that the body feels now and the way that the body felt when you first entered into this space of practice. Even taking the time to notice the way that the feet perhaps feel slightly different in the way that they're connecting to the earth. Let's all take one more deep breath in here. And only when you're ready, at your own pace and rhythm, please begin to ever so slowly open up the eyes, very gently, without staring at anything in particular, allowing color and texture to flood back into your mind's awareness. From here, we can begin the process of reorienting to the room that we're in. And so we will very gently begin to turn and rotate the head and the neck, gently taking in the colors and textures of the space you find yourself in, wherever you are. Noticing if there's anything new or different or alive in the space you find yourself in. What has changed since you started this practice?
Thank you for listening to this episode of 12-Minute Meditation from Mindful and Mindful.org. I hope you enjoyed practicing with us. We'll be back in 7 days with another meditation practice for you.